Hey y'all, how you doing tonight? Well, it's Friday and we got through another week. So give yourself a little pat on the back for making it through the week. So tonight's topic is going to come to you not from me, but from someone on my Facebook friends list. A couple of days ago, I asked my friends what topic would they like me to cover, what subjects would they like me to talk about, and I got several suggestions. The one I did the other day about the bricks was a suggestion from someone, and so tonight I'm going to talk to you about the importance of not fitting in. So we're coming to you live from the island of Misfit Toys, or Misfit Boys, I should say. Um, so, as I've said many, many times in previous videos, um, I grew up a loner. I did not have a lot of friends. I didn't have um, a social life, in as much as children can have a social life. Um, I was a loner. I would play in the woods near our house. I would play with other, people in my family, but I didn't have a lot of outside friends and things. And uh, part of the reason is because I was perceived as different, which I was. Um, in elementary school, they called me a sissy because I was kind of effeminate. Another word they used was sweet. He's sweet, meaning gay. Uh, and then as I got older in middle school and up on in high school, and we kids learned more about sex and became sexual beings ourselves, um, the words they used to describe me, the names that they called me, became um, meaner and uglier. Um, and I don't know if I could say those words on YouTube or not, but I don't want to say them. I don't want to hear them, but I'm sure you know the words that they may have used to describe me. Another way I was different was I came from a broken home in a time when a lot of my friends, well, not friends, my schoolmates, classmates, peers, they would go home to a mother and a father. Me, I went home to a grandmother and a grandfather and aunts and uncles. And even though I had a family, I didn't have, the typical mom and dad thing. I was the product of a broken home. My parents were divorced, and I was raised by my grandparents. So it seemed like, from my point of view, there was nothing normal about me because, being young and impressionable, I allowed other people's thoughts and ideas about me to form my own thoughts and ideas about me. I allowed their impressions to be impressed upon me, and I thought of myself as different, as ugly, as a sissy, as something less than um, what I could be or should be. And for that reason, I may have felt like I deserved, on some level, I deserved to be bullied, to be cast out, to be shamed. And I did carry some shame with me. At night, I would go to bed at night and I would cry myself to sleep in my pillow and pray to God to make me normal. Um, let me wake up in the morning. Let me just be normal. Let me like girls. Let me have a mom and a dad and a nice little home and just be normal. I want to be normal. I want to be like everybody else. And see, the problem with that is I believe that before you incarnate into this life, you make a contract with the universe. You make a contract with your own soul that you will come into this life and you will experience specific relationships and you will have specific experiences. And these relationships and experiences are designed to allow you to grow and evolve and become more compassionate people, to become more evolved, to become closer to God. They call it uh, not atonement, but at one meant with God. Excuse me. I feel like I got a burp. So while you are trying to change who you are really what you're trying to do is you're trying to break the contract you made with your soul. And so, being young and unevolved and not as spiritual as I could be, I tried to mold myself. I tried to change myself to fit other people's impressions of me because I didn't know who I was. And so I tried to dress the way other people dress. I tried to wear my hair the way other people dress. I tried to like the things that other people liked. I tried to do the things that other people liked. And you know what? I was very unhappy. And the reason I was unhappy is because I was trying to break that contract with my soul, with the universe. And that's what happens when you try to break your contract with the soul, with your soul. You get you experience blockages, you experience unhappiness, you experience delays. And so, as I got older, I've said before, when I got into high school, middle school and high school, I really felt like somebody pushed the pause button on certain aspects of my life. Growing up gay in the South in the 80s and 90s, I felt like my development was delayed in that, I didn't get to have some of the experiences that my peers experienced. I didn't get to have my first crush. I didn't get to, go on dates and learn, these social cues that other people learn. In middle school, 8th grade, I did go to the junior prom with a cousin by marriage. But in high school, I didn't go to my prom at all because I couldn't go with a boy. And even if I could go with a boy, I didn't know of any boy that I could ask out or who would ask me out. So I remember sitting home that night and watching TV and eating a pork chop. And so I was 17 years old when I graduated high school. I was still young. And I still didn't really know who I was because I still hadn't had some of those experiences to help form my identity and help me figure out who I was. Because I spent so much time trying to fit in and trying to be quote unquote normal in regards to what society thought would be normal rather than what is normal for me. And so after I graduated, I took the summer off, and then in the fall, I went to college. And that's when I started really away from high school, away from people that knew me. I started accepting myself a little bit more. All through middle school, all through high school, I knew I was gay. I just did not feel comfortable admitting to it because of the way I was treated by my peers and being called names and getting hit and mean tricks played on me. I knew I was different, but I just didn't feel like it was safe for me to admit it. So in college, away from all those people, having a little bit more freedom, being in a place where people didn't know me, I started to come out a little bit. I started coming out to some people here and there and experimenting with that. And I was still living at home, in my grandparents' home, and I just got to a point where I needed to break free. I needed more freedom to figure out who Dean was and to have these experiences. So I dropped out of college after the first year. It wasn't because of my grades, because I made the dean's list. I dropped out of college, I got a job, and I got my own place. Now, at this point, I was still very shy. My first job was a courtesy clerk up at the Piggly Wiggly, and that was a blessing. I really believe that even though I didn't like the job at the time, it was a blessing because working with the public forced me to come out of my shell. I had to be able to talk to people, I had to be able to approach people and help people and converse with them, and that really was one of the building blocks of me becoming who I was. But I also really felt like I had to catch up because I missed out on so much. And that's when I became promiscuous. Sex was something that was new and fun, and it feels good when you do it, but on a different level for me, it felt good because not only, if I made out with a boy or had sex with a boy, not only did I find someone who was like me, I also felt like I found someone who liked me. So not only did they like me, they were like me. and I felt a little less different and a little less other. And I thought, well, you know, maybe it's not so bad to be gay. Maybe it's not so bad to have these experiences and these fantasies and these ideas and beliefs. And the more I became comfortable with the fact that being gay was normal, the more permission I gave to myself to have these experiences and figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. And so, where am I going with this now? I had an idea I was going with. Okay, so then as I'm experimenting with, you know, the way I look, the way I dress, at one point I grew my hair out very long. My hair was like down to here and it was curly, so if I pulled it, it would go even further. At another point I painted my fingernails black and I tried to be, you know, this sort of gothy type person or what have you. And I tried different things with my hair and I tried to like not wear my glasses and I tried on different aspects of other people's personality, but I really still didn't feel like I was being me. I felt like I was trying on different outfits or different personalities to see what fit, and nothing fit because none of those people were me, and because none of those things fit, I didn't fit. And then I had a sudden realization, and that realization was, as long as I continue to compare myself to others, I will never be truly free to be myself, right? So when I stopped comparing myself to others, I gave myself permission to be me. And I don't know how else to explain it. I just became me, you know? I figured out, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Why do I like that? Do I like it because I like it, or do I like it because of other people like it? You know, I like to wear certain clothes. I like my ears to be pierced. You know, because growing up, even in the 80s and 90s in the South, my family didn't like my long hair. My family didn't like my earrings. Other people, you know, immediately thought gay. There were people who thought I like to, just because I was gay, I like to dress like a woman, which I don't. There was all kinds of assumptions made about me. And so, in order to be me, I had to figure out what I liked for me, what I liked about myself. How do I want to dress and present myself for me, not for other people? And that really gave me the freedom to blossom and grow and evolve as an individual. And so, my advice to anyone who is looking to fit in, my response would be, why? Why would you want to fit in? Don't you want to be unique? Variety really is the spice of life. And so, as long as you're trying to be like someone else, you're not being yourself. So my advice to you would be, don't worry about fitting in. Just be you and do you. And give yourself the permission to be yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. I honestly believe that one of the core problems with our world today and our society is that too many of us compare ourselves to others in the sense of what they have, how they look, how they dress, how they talk, and also how they live their life. Oh, black people can use the N-word, why can't I use the N-word? Or, I'm oppressed too, whatever, it's stupid. So anyway, these are my thoughts on the importance of not fitting in. And until next time, I want to say to you, as always, make good decisions, be good people, and do good things. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.